Hey guys, as promised, we are going to be showing you our new 2-bedroom apartment. Considering we moved out of a studio, this is much bigger and we think that the features are a lot more interesting in this unit. Just so you guys know, this move is saving us money as our old place was priced at the winter rates and now we're getting summer rates for this. And in Hakuba, living is a lot cheaper in the summer as this is primarily a ski destination. Nancy will take us into the new place.
Our beautiful stickered door. And notice how we've oiled the door since it's not squeaky anymore. Yay! So in Japan, it's quite common for all the households to have a entranceway. And this one in particular is fairly large. And this is where we keep our shoes. Oh, it's a little hard to open. We put our shoes and random things in here. And we have a fake plant in here for decoration. And our hats and umbrella when we need them.
So Nancy doesn't find this very weird, but I do. I've noticed that a lot of places in Japan all have entranceways that are one step lower than the main building. Yeah, I'm not used to having to step up to get inside and then step again to get inside the house. So this was a strange feature for me, but I think a lot of places have these entranceways so you can take off your outdoor shoes and switch to your slippers.
Yeah. So welcome to our kitchen.
So guys, this is our newly renovated kitchen in Japan. Some of the height differences are not great for people like me, as I often smack my head on the vent here when I'm cooking, if I cook. And
if you cook.
And I will take you through the specific features that make this kitchen a very good design.
Take it away.
So first of all, gas is very common in Japan for cooking, which I really like, and in particular, I like the way that these start. You click down on this button here and it automatically starts the gas burner, and there's gas control here which will actually adjust itself as needed in order to start your burner. You can turn it off. And of course we have a fish broiler, which I don't actually know how to use, but that's okay. Over here, this is a very sleek looking vent. It should be noted that as an HVAC engineer, this is of particular interest to me, but outside we do not have a bird screen or insect mesh, and I do suspect that there are birds nesting in our ductwork. Moving on to the next item is the surface of the kitchen. This is not a marble or a granite or any of those materials that we are commonly seeing in Canada. It seems more of like a polymer, but what I really enjoy about this is that the surface more or less extends up the wall here, and it's smooth, so it's very easy to clean. None of the cooking ingredients seem to stick to it or discolor it, which is really nice. And you can do things like this, where you can attach a suction cup to it so you can hold items on it. Our kitchen sink is very generously proportioned, and I really like it. This is a good size single basin sink, much better than the one we had living at home in Vancouver. And it's the nifty little features like this, like a cutting board drying area. That is often a problem at home with drying racks, or how they separate the cutlery into this drying rack here, and this plastic one just fits properly in the sink, even though you buy them separate from each other. Another interesting aspect of the sink is the drain itself. It has a partial cover on it, which leads to a giant kitchen catcher. I really like that. The kitchen catcher is removable, and it looks like I need to clean the sink a little bit here. The next aspect of our kitchen that I really enjoy is this. I know it just kind of looks like an overpowered microwave oven, but that's really not what this is. This is a steam convection oven, which I'm not sure if anyone actually knows what that is, but I believe in North America these are referred to as combi ovens. And so what they are capable of doing is using, wow, that's also a little bit dirty in there, but they use steam to heat up the food, which is really nice because you get a quicker heating time compared to a microwave, and you also get a very even heat distribution, so you don't get cold or hot spots in your food and have to mix them around. It just heats them all uniformly. Very nice feature. I would really like one of these in North America, but from our experiences, combi ovens, the full-size ones, are very expensive, and I'm not sure if we're able to find small ones like this at home. I might have to just take this one with me or something. We are now going to move on to the Japanese fridge. You'll notice that this fridge has 3 compartments in it. That's because it is a very regular Japanese fridge. From my understanding, the high-end ones can have up to 5 compartments. And you'll notice that this one is much larger than our old one.
It's great. I love it. I can buy like a million things at the grocery store and not have to worry about fridge space because everything fits. I don't know about the freezer section though because it's full of ice cream right now, but everything else fits.
So the bottom section of our fridge is a freezer, which makes a lot of sense considering you don't go into your freezer as often as your fridge section. So putting it on the bottom makes it much more ergonomical compared to a lot of the old North American designs. I know a lot of new ones in North America are putting the freezer on the bottom. It's good to note that the freezers in Japan typically operate between -18 and -20 degrees Celsius, so that's a little bit colder than what we're used to at home. The next largest section is actually intended for vegetables. This section is kept at a temperature between 5 and 10 degrees Celsius as it is found more optimal for vegetables preservation. The main section of the fridge is quite generous, and it is kept between 3 to 4 degrees Celsius, which is the same as at home in North America. But this chiller room, I think, is a more budget version of what the high-end Japanese fridges come with. And there's actually a section where you're meant to keep your raw meat and your raw fish that you're gonna cook that week, and they try and keep the temperature at around 0 degrees, so your meat isn't frozen, but it's kept at a lower temperature for preservation.
Okay, wait for it.
So what we're waiting for is another feature of Japanese fridges where you open the door, and if you leave it open for too long, your fridge will actually beep at you to tell you to close the door. This is a great feature considering...
You hear that? It's not very loud, but I think it's you can definitely hear it and you'll be like, oh, what's that sound? And realize your fridge is still open. So it prevents anything from defrosting if it's in the freezer or getting spoiled in the fridge.
Which is what happened last night when Nancy didn't close the freezer and it beeped at her.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what's that? Things are beeping at me. But it's very common in Japan that things just talk to you. For example, when we get into our car, it talks to us. So, yeah.
And the next place we'll be taking you is our washroom. So if you'll notice, right here in front of us is a sink area, which is where you brush your teeth, wash your face, everything you need to do.
And over here we have our washing machine and a drying rack. And over here on the left side is our shower area. So this shower area and bath area is a all built-in modular shower, which means everything can get wet and it's okay. Next up, exiting the shower room, we have our toilet room over here. So right over here, you can see, this is our toilet. To our disappointment, this toilet does not come with a bidet function, but it has a heated seat. So, you know, those winter days or those days you wake up in the morning, you're a little cold, and you sit on a heated toilet seat. It's great. I love it, but Chris hates it. He thinks that someone just freshly sat on the toilet before him, so he hates it, and he refused to use it.
It's like sitting in a warm chair after someone got out of it. It's not pleasant. And a toilet seat gives you the same impression, but instead now there's no pants that was between their butt and the chair. It was bare butt on seat, and now you're like sharing butt seat.
But people love heated seats in cars.
I also dislike that too.
Okay, you're just a very special human being.
So over here is the main bedroom of our place, I want you guys to notice how low this door is though. So I smack my head on it unless I duck. I think this might be due to this building being constructed somewhere between 30 and 40 years ago. It's not a new building, and we know this information because I accidentally just found it listed for sale online, which we'll talk about more later. This is our bedroom. There's nothing too special about it. It's kind of like a bedroom you'd find in North America. The main reason we like it is because it gets super dark, and with the curtains shut, I can sleep in and Nancy can get up and cook and do whatever she wants, and I can sleep through that. So we're going to be taking you to our second bedroom, which is much better than our first one because it has a real height door. So we have converted this second bedroom into a more of a working area. You will be seeing this tabletop in a bunch of our future videos where we eat ice cream. And Nancy also uses this space as an area to teach English to kids online, as seen by the wall decorations here. And we will show you what Japanese closets are like. So as you can see here, Japanese closets are a lot deeper than their North American counterparts. This is traditionally due to them being used to store futons during the day, as most people will lay out their bed every night, sleep on it, and then put it in the closet during the day after sun drying it outside. Here is our working space, which we have set up a nice TV to stream stuff, and we work at this desk, and we put this light over here with our little makeshift shoelace so that we get proper lighting when we're filming at the table here.
Alright, so many people have asked why we moved, and especially why we moved next door to our old apartment.
So there are a couple of reasons for this. Originally, we wanted to be road tripping around Japan during this period of time. Our vision was we would ski, get a bigger vehicle, go camping, explore all the different prefectures in Japan, go take a ton of photos, fly the drone around, all those fun things. However, with the current coronavirus situation in Japan and the world, staying in one location is probably a better idea.
So since we're staying in Hakuba, we wanted more space because Chris likes to sleep in the mornings, whereas I am pretty much an early person. I like to go for my run in the morning and make breakfast because I get hungry. So getting a bigger space with rooms is beneficial for our work routine. And as such, we looked for a new place and found this 2-bedroom apartment, which is perfect because we have a bedroom for sleeping and a bedroom for our studio work, which is great. And on top of that, this place is actually cheaper in comparison to our old apartment. We pay about 60,000 yen a month, and
that includes our utilities and our internet.
So yes, that is cheaper, and we have a bigger space. We have a bigger fridge. We also have a second fridge.
Our second fridge this time is a little bit different. It's exclusively a beer fridge. However, it hums like a little computer, so we don't keep it plugged in most of the time. While this move has had a lot of benefits for us, there has been one minor setback that we were not entirely prepared for. Like, we'd kind of heard about it, but not really realized the severity of the situation. This is a giant desiccant container, and unfortunately, due to Japan's humid climate and large temperature swings, mold is actually a very common problem in Japan. Like, after the winter, the backs of closets will often have condensation that will turn into mold, then you have to clean it up, or like just in different places that are like where there's no air circulation, because Japan, like many places around the world, does not have central heating, which is a large contrast from North America. And right now we have the rainy season coming up, which is another time we'll be using these desiccants, because I'm told that one of these containers can fill entirely in one day just from the crazy amount of rain at like 30 degrees Celsius. So I'm definitely not looking forward to this, considering we do not have a real dehumidifier or an air conditioner here.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, right?
As a bit of an aside, if you want to be our landlords, this apartment complex is actually up for sale. There are 12 units in the complex split between 2 buildings, and they're going for, I think it's about 1.2 million US dollars, which makes it about 100,000 for each unit. If you think about that, it's not a terrible price, but then when you find out how much they actually rent out for, you might be like, oh, that's not a very good idea.
But yeah, so we're very happy about our move. We hope you like all the features that we love as well. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you next week. Woo!